it. So, hello, good night. Our class is on our backs tonight, so we're going to be just laying down the whole time. So what you will need is something for under your head or somewhere, something or any kind of bolstering that you need to be comfortable laying on your back. So sometimes you may want to have it like staired. So there's like, you have, something, this part under your shoulders, this part under your head, that's sometimes nice. And then sometimes even some people have a third tier if that's comfortable as well. So your pelvis, then your shoulders, and then your head. And then it's just to find that place where you feel most comfortable on your back. So we're going to need just that. So bolstering just for your head, perhaps your shoulders. So get a couple like bed pillows or anything like that. And also that can be used or something even a bit thicker. That's why I think like a couple, 2 or 3 even bed pillows may be great because we are going to be putting this under our pelvis with feet up in the air at the end of the class. So that's all you need. No straps, no blocks or anything like that. So we will begin by coming down. Oh, sorry. No, there's something else. We are going to be using the floor a lot tonight. So we're going to be slipping and sliding with our feet with socks on. So I'm wearing socks. If you are using your mat, I would just have it so that your feet is hanging off the mat, or you don't need to use a mat at all, but you just need to be able to slip and slide your feet on the floor. So if you have hardwood, great. If you're on carpet, then sometimes even like a paper plate or just plastic plate or something that you can just slide along the floor. So get your socks if you don't have your socks on and come to lay down. And before you lay down, just make sure that you have room. So I would probably just fold my mat up here so that I have room for my legs to hang out. Okay, I'm just gonna fold it up. Coming down onto our backs and just getting yourself adjusted. So bolstering, I highly recommend. And if you're wondering if you should bolster or need to bolster, there's a couple of little things that you can look for. So if you're not bolstering at all, just notice if your chin is poking up to the ceiling. And even if you are bolstered, but you feel like your chin is still poking up to the ceiling, just put something under your head so that you can feel your neck nice and long in the back. And so I have this under my shoulders, the other tier, and I'm quite comfortable here. I could do it, I probably don't have to be up this high, but I feel very comfortable here. So I'm gonna just stay here. And we're just gonna begin the class with our breath. So just getting all comfy there. I have my knees legs bent, but you don't have to. We're just gonna come to the breath. So I'm gonna take my hand. I like having one hand on my belly and one hand on my chest. I'm just closing our eyes. Relax your jaw. A little space between the back teeth. Just noticing our breath. Notice how we naturally breathe. Perhaps trying to extend the breath. A little on the inhale, a little on the exhale. Just noticing your hands on your belly and on your chest. Notice the sense of touch. And also being aware of the belly rising beneath your hands. And the movement of your chest as well with the breath. And on your exhales, you're just really trying to release any tension anywhere in the body. And checking in from the top of the head, around the eyes, the jaw, letting the weight of the head be heavy, and your shoulders, letting the whole back body sinking to the floor. Just trying to find this place of softness and ease. Perhaps taking a couple breaths through the nose and really accentuating the exhale out. So it's like you're breathing for the exhale. So inhaling for the exhale. Extending the exhale, and at the same time, letting your body become softer. Checking in with around the belly, around the hips and the pelvic floor. And release anything there. We want to begin everything tonight, starting with this place of ease in our body. We're just simply now going to just move the head from side to side. So looking over the right shoulder and then the left. Big breaths in and out. Still trying to maintain this nice, relaxed feeling in the body. And just gently moving the neck side to side. Moving in circles if you want to move in circles. So it's just tracing the circle with my nose. And then come to neutral, and then I'm just bringing my chin towards my chest. And then bringing the chin up into the air. Taking a breath, exhale, come to neutral. A little side to side with the jaw now. So just moving the jaw side to side, and then you can open your mouth nice and wide. So just stretching the face. We're going to begin with just taking your arms up towards the ceiling. So reach your arms up, taking some breaths. Do some circles with your wrists. You're just going to reach your fingers up towards the ceiling. You're just going to reach with one shoulder. So I'm really just reaching the arm up straight vertically. Reach the arm, shoulder blade is coming up as well. Reach the other arm, so you're just moving to the left arm. Take your breath. Don't clench your face or your jaw. Nice and easy movements. And again with the right, I'm just reaching up towards the ceiling. Reach, reach, reach. Inhale and exhale, come down, move to the other side. Now reaching again, and this time I'm going to reach up and reach, or reach more of a diagonal. So I'm reaching across the body. You can bring the other hand down, and I'm just reaching. And my shoulder blade is coming even more off the floor, but my other shoulder blade is remaining down. And come down, come back. Reaching both arms again. Reach both arms up to the sky. And then bring the right one down and reach across the body with the left. So I'm reaching, bringing the shoulder blade. Pelvis remains on the floor. I'm just reaching to one side. And exhale. Come down. We're reaching the arms up again. We're just going to do some internal and external rotation. So you're just really trying to move the arms in the shoulder socket here. So it's less a movement through the hands and the forearms, more of a movement right in the shoulders. And you can try different planes, so opening your arms a little wider. And keep moving internally, externally. And check in with the rest of your body. If you're tensing in the face, you can bring the arms a little wider. Making sure you're not tensing in the face or in the belly, clenching the belly. So let the belly be nice and loose. I'm just bringing the arms now closer together. And just moving them internally and externally in all these different ways. So we're going to just bring the right arm now and bring it over across the body. And I'm taking my left arm and I'm just really stretching the arm across and using my other arm to kind of help move the arm across the body. And take a breath. And release. Taking the left arm now up and then crossing the body and just taking my other arm and pressing the arm down, and as I'm reaching across my body here. And breath. And exhale. Release. Take some nice breaths here. Coming back to a relaxed breath, a relaxed body. And now we're just simply going to bring the arms up and behind us. So we're bringing the arms up and behind and reach and stretch behind you. Your arms don't have to come to the floor or anything. We're just reaching where it's comfortable and come down again. Take a breath. Perhaps a little wider this time. Bring the arms up. I'm trying to keep the ribs nice and steady. Keeping the pelvis where it is. Small arch in your lower back. And we'll get to that. We'll come back and explore a neutral pelvis and what that means in a second. And come down. Okay, maybe a little shake of the shoulders. Bring the shoulders up towards the ears. And bring them down. Come back to your breath. So we're just going to get a sense now of our pelvis and finding that place where it's nice and neutral, because we're going to be really finding that place of that's neutral for you. And then we're going to be doing the next few movements. We're trying to keep our pelvis as steady as possible. So if you want to begin by just tilting the pelvis down, so it's like you're creating an arch in your lower back, and then you're tucking the pelvis so the back comes flat to the floor. And you can bring your hands to your hip bones and just feel the pelvis moving back and forth. So I'm really flattening the back and then arching my back, tucking my pelvis. Or not tucking, this would be more of a tilt of the pelvis, and then flattening back and tucking the pelvis under. So this anterior and posterior tilt. And now what I want you to do is just find that place somewhere in the middle that's good for you. So that you should feel a small arch in your lower back. Your shoulders should be nice and flat, or your shoulder blades flat on the floor. Now your hands can be wherever is comfortable. I'm gonna put mine on my belly, or even placing your hands on the hips to remind your pelvis now to stay at ease. You see, okay. So we can begin by just taking the feet a little tiny bit wider than pelvis width apart, and we're just going to windshield wiper the legs back and forth. So let's just get a bit of mobility in the hips here. Staying with your breath. So I'm just rocking the legs back and forth. You can open the legs a little wider and see and continue with that movement back and forth. So just windshield wipering the legs. Pelvis still, just getting movement in the hips here. And then bring the feet back, so pelvis width distance apart. And then we're just going to open the legs like in a butterfly. And you can just let them kind of fall and see where your legs end up here. Come to a breath. And now bring the legs back up. And we're just going to begin by doing a slide with our right leg. So keeping the pelvis nice and still, we're just going to lift the toes up towards the ceiling, or just lift the toes off the floor, and you're just going to bring the heel, sliding it on the floor back and forth, very slow. So this is going to be a very gentle class tonight. Very slow movements, but you're really going to still get a lot of work happening. Really good for your hip flexors here, doing all this work. So very slow, just pulling the leg in and out. And you don't want the pelvis, you want the pelvis to be nice and still. You don't want any rocking, trying to keep it as still as possible. And you're just bending and unbending that knee. Move with your breath. And relax muscles in the face and around the shoulders. Keeping an arch in the back, so you don't want to be flattening the back to the floor. So nothing else is moving. You're just moving this knee, bending the knee, bringing the heel in towards the body. Foot is a little flexed. And we'll just do one more. And now move to the other side. Move with your breath if you want, but really keep the motion movement nice and slow. I'm probably feeling some action in the back of the leg. And practicing patience for some to move so slowly and to be so still. And we're going to be practicing a lot of repetitions, the same movement. So really a practice of patience, like I said. And practice of slowing down. And a practice of being mindful of your movements, noticing what the knee wants to do. Does it want to rock out to the side? Notice what else happens in the body. If you tend to tense in other places when one part is taking your attention and is being active. And we'll do one more. Okay, so just come back, relax your legs. You can just drop your knees towards one another if that feels good. And come back to your breath. Now opening the legs, and this time bringing the legs out into that butterfly, but I don't want you to drop the legs so that you're just letting gravity take over. I want you to keep them up a little bit so there's a little bit of tension, or not tension, but resistance there. So you're just not flopping the legs down, okay? So just bring them up a little bit. So you can even just open them and just stop when it comes to that place where you're just going to lose it and let gravity take over, okay? So we just bring our knees up center and then just open your legs, and then you're gonna come to that place. It's like, okay, yeah. And so we're just gonna hold them there for a sec. Take a breath. And now we're gonna do that same slide with one leg on this side. So you're just going to slide the leg out to as far as it goes. Not gonna go straight. You don't have to go all the way straight, okay? So we're not straightening out the leg here. We're just keeping that butterfly position, and the leg is going out until it stops and come back in. So you don't want to be down in that that place where gravity is just holding the leg or pulling the leg down. You want to bring that in, and now start that movement sliding. And again, you want the pelvis to remain still. So you may notice that the pelvis really may want to help here by moving. But you're just nice and still. I mean, it may rock a little bit. Really trying to keep that leg where it is and just bending and unbending that knee there. And the other leg is quite active as well because you're holding that leg up. So again, feel free to move with your breath here. And check in if there's other place where you're starting to hold. The muscles are contracting, maybe around the jaw or your shoulders. And we'll just do a couple more here. Probably really feeling it in the backs of the legs, even maybe around the glutes and hamstrings. Do your last one here on this side. You can take a break or move right into the other side. So you may want to adjust. I'm just going to adjust, bringing my legs open, and continue with that movement on the left side. So my pelvis, I'm putting my hands on my hip bones to remind my pelvis to stay still. Now all the action pulling my leg in towards my body and pushing the leg out nice and soft. Notice what is happening to your breath as well. Your legs legs may be shaking a little bit, and that's okay. It's great. And we're just going to do 2 more. So I'm bringing the 1 in. I'm going to do 1 more here. Okay, so bringing your legs up, you can go back into that windshield wiper from side to side, or you can relax the knees together. You can bring the knees up if you want, legs or toes up in the air, anything that feels good for you right now, or even taking the arms out long and placing them on your knees and do a little side to side rock here on your sacrum, lower part of your back. Or you can just be still and come back to your breath. So we're going to open the legs into that butterfly again. So my feet are pelvis width distance apart, and we're just going to open that butterfly and then close again and open. So I'm not just dropping the legs, right? I'm just opening with control and closing with control. And now opening in that butterfly again. And we're going to do both of the legs at the same time. So we're going to push the legs out. You may want your hands down on the floor, palms down. And pull them back in. You can have the feet together if you want, or the heels together if you want, and do it that way. So push out. Again, we're not closing the legs. We're just keeping them open and pushing out and in. Again, we're trying to keep the pelvis nice and still. And you may notice other things happening as well. You may notice that your back may be arching off the floor. So just do your best. If this is too much and there is a lot of arching going on, just go back to doing 1 at a time. So you can be still like we just did, but just this time alternate back and forth. So nice and slow, relax the belly, relax the face, getting a lot of wonderful work in the legs here. You can probably feel it, and around the hips, the backs of the legs. Can we do 3 more? Nice and slow. And with the breath. Pelvis still. Last one. Now take another rest. I'll rock your legs back and forth. If you want, back into that windshield wiper wash. You can have the legs out straight if you want, and just let the legs relax, or maybe do a few internal and external rotation with the legs. You choose. And now bring the legs back up. So again, they're pelvis width distance apart, your feet are wherever it's comfortable. So checking back in, nice comfortable neck. Shoulders, a little arch in the lower back, so that neutral pelvis. Some people like to take their hands on their pelvic bone and then on their pubic bone and get a sense of them being on the same plane. And that's another indication too of your pelvis being relatively neutral. Okay, so going back to this one leg at a time. So I'm going to start with my right leg, and this time I'm really going to push down with my heel more. Okay, so I'm just bringing the toes up towards the ceiling, pushing down on my heels, and now I'm going to push out. So doing the same thing with just a little bit more force. of the heel into the floor, okay? Nice and slow again. Relax your jaw, relax your breath. And all the energy coming into this action of the leg, pulling in and pushing it out. Nice and slow. Bringing ease in the rest of the body. Bring all your energy into that one leg, pushing into the floor, pulling and pushing at the same time, bringing your leg back. Three more. Slow it down. Slow it down even more. Pelvis neutral, trying to keep it still. One more. And pull it back. And relax that leg. Take a breath. And move right into the other one. So just pushing out, pushing down in the heel. And really pulling the leg back. And really focus on the back of your leg doing the work. And in the middle, or you may even feel it on the inside of your leg, so your adductors doing the work. Pushing the heel down, and we're going to slow it down. And pull it in nice and slow. And you don't have, if you're getting a really tired ankle, don't flex the foot as much. Just more or less pushing the heel down. You don't have to flex the toe tray back. And we're going to do 3 more. Nice and slow. Last 2, nice and slow. Being patient with yourself. Okay, leg is in. Take a breath. And now both legs at the same time. So push the heels, trying to keep the pelvis nice and steady. You may want to tilt or tuck, but you're just trying to keep it nice and still. Down in the belly. Holding in the belly. Are you bearing down anywhere? I'm really feeling the work in the back of the legs. So it's not going to be, Some people may not feel anything at all here. You're not going to feel like your legs are, shaking and getting super tired. And that all depends. But just know that no matter what, you're getting a lot of fantastic work here. So we're going to do 3 more. Push the heels down into the floor. Try not to get any help from the pelvis. So you're really trying to keep the pelvis nice and still. I still have a nice arch in my lower back. And the last one here. And relax. You can give your legs a little open close, a little side to side rock. So you may want to take off your socks now, or you may want to keep them on. It's up to you. I'm just going to bring my mat back here because we're going to go into a couple of little bridge pose here. So you may or may not want your socks on for this. And I think I may take my socks off. So just bending your legs just like you have been. And again, taking your hands on the pelvis. And even taking like some fingers, spreading your hands out wide and taking finger on the pelvis and then taking a thumb onto your ribs. And you want to, and I think I'm going to bring my head down a little tiny bit more. And so you really want to get this feeling like that you're moving these 2 parts together when we're going to be coming up, okay? So it's not like you're peeling up. I want you to really think about your ribs and your hips coming up really as one piece, okay? And when we're moving in this, so your legs are pelvis width distance apart, it's really, this is a hip extension. So really taking notice of the crease in your hips. And just imagine that as you rise, you're opening the creases in your pants and you're rising. You're also getting rotation in the shoulders here. So when you come up into bridge, some people just come up with this part of their body and their shoulders has nothing to do with it. But what I want you to practice is coming up, connection with the ribs and the pelvis. And when you come up, you'll notice that you're moving around the shoulders as well, okay? And come down. And you may, if you find it really hard coming up in bridge, you may want to have this feeling like you're pulling the heels in towards your bum as you come up. So activating the back part of your body and then bringing your hips up and your ribs up, same plane. You can hold here and relax the belly, relax the face, pushing up. And remember, there's rotation happening too around the shoulders here. So we're moving around the shoulders. And now as we come down, I want you to come down again as in one piece. So the ribs and the pelvis coming down, keeping them on the same plane here, and come down. And take a breath. And on your next exhale, you're going to come up again. So you may want to have that feeling pulling your feet in towards your body, bringing your ribs and your hips up at the same time. So not raising the hips up first. You're really trying to come up in one piece and come up, and you can even feel rotation going around your shoulders here. Just meaning that you're moving around your shoulders. Your shoulders are still, but you're moving here around the shoulders. And you don't have to go up super high, just come up to where it is comfortable for you. And one more breath. And then again, trying to bring the ribs down, pelvis down in one piece. Taking a breath, and we're just going to go up one more time. So maintaining the pelvis and the rib connection, and then again, pulling in with the feet towards your bum, and extending the hips here, hip extension here. And just coming up, I'm really feeling the action in the back of my glutes, pulling the feet in towards my bum, that feeling like you're pulling the legs in. You can stay here for a couple of breaths. You can come down. And I'm going to come down now, maintaining that connection. So now what we're going to do is we are going to take your bolster or your pillows and you're going to put it underneath your pelvis. So I'm just going to put it under my knees, and then I'm going to come into that bridge pose like we just did, and then I'm going to slip this bolster underneath my hips. So I'm going to raise nice and strong, pulling the feet in, nice strong backside. And I'm just going to put this bolster, and I'm going to find that place that's comfortable. So you do want it on your lower back and on your pelvis. And when you find that spot, you're just going to bring the legs up in the air. You may have to adjust. So this might be nice and relaxing for the backs of your legs after all of that work. And really it's just do whatever you kind of like here to begin. I'm just going to scissor my legs open. And scissor my legs open this way as well. So side to side. And I'm going to bend to the knees now. I'm just going to move, and still thinking about my pelvis staying relatively neutral. I'm going to just bend the knees, and I'm going to just move this leg around in the hip socket. So I'm just moving the knee around, and you can move the legs however you want, but you're really not really doing much through the pelvis. The pelvis is nice and still. I have my knees bent, and I'm really just opening and closing, moving my legs around in all different ways. There is no wrong way as long as it feels good for you. Just getting a bit of mobility in the hips. So now I'm going to bring one leg in towards my body. So I'm just going to hold on to the back of my leg and bring the knee in towards my body, and I'm going to let the other leg just kind of hang. So it's not hanging so my back of my heel is on the floor. It's up, and it's almost like the more I pull the one leg in towards my chest, the other one is kind of just moving with it. So the leg is kind of just really hanging there. Now you can just move that leg, the leg that's extended, side to side. So coming back to your breath, you can have your hands on the outside of your leg or the inside on your thigh. Just moving this leg side to side. You don't have to go all the way. You can start with just little movements. Little movements from side to side and make the movements a bit bigger. And now bend that knee. Bring that knee into the chest and let the other one extend. Really, you can extend right out through the heel. And even just staying here for a moment and then coming and starting the swings from side to side. Start small, make the swings a little bigger as you go. But really relaxing everywhere else. Calm face. Nice calm breath. No rushing. Feeling ease in the rest of the body. Around your belly and your shoulders. Around your jaw. And your eyes, your third eye. And now bring that knee in. And if you want, bring both legs up towards the ceiling, flexing the toes down towards your face. Doing a bit of ankle movement here. So just flexing the toes down towards your face and then point the toes up towards the ceiling. You can do some circles. Movement in the ankles. You can be really doing whatever feels good. I know most people love having their legs up in the air like this. It just feels so soothing. Having something especially underneath your pelvis. So yeah, just really enjoy it. Enjoy whatever feels good for you. Sometimes even coming into this like a happy baby. So bringing our hands onto our ankles here and perhaps just arms long and just reaching your legs out or your knees out to each side. And we're going to get right into our Shavasana now. So if you want to keep legs up and you want to bring this bolster right up to the wall, you can do that and then have the bolster underneath and your legs resting on the wall for legs up the wall. Be really nice right now, actually, if you wanted to do that. Otherwise, you could just get in the position that you want for your Shavasana tonight. So I'm just moving this bolster to the side. Get nice and comfy. Any last movements you feel your body is asking from you, you go ahead and do whatever feels right for you. And getting that proper bolstering is always nice when you're laying. If you choose to lay on your back, to just get it really nice and comfy for you. And there's so many ways to do that. If you have a bunch of pillows, you can have some under your knees, one under your head. At this part, you can even jump into your bed if you want. If you want, and just stay there for the rest of the evening. So, yay. Time for rest. So closing your eyes. I like having the hand to my chest and one on my belly again. Just taking a moment to settle. So there's a lot of movement that we did and a lot of work while laying down onto our backs. And now we are going to ask the body to relax again. Notice how the backs of your legs feel, or perhaps your glutes, or all of your legs. You may feel like a real energy there that you're not feeling in other parts that were nice and relaxed and at ease during the class. So just notice whatever sensation you're noticing in your legs. Now let the legs be really heavy. all around the glutes as well, and even the pelvic floor. Sometimes we clench around the pelvic floor, around the abdomen. Let all of that go. And around the shoulders, let the shoulders go. Perhaps your hands will come out to the sides, thumbs facing up. And really let your shoulders become heavy. And around the rib cage, around the cervical spine, around your neck. Sometimes we can be quite surprised when we find these little pieces, places in our bodies that's still holding on. Thanking our legs for all that work and the mind and the rest of the body for being still. And jaws relax. Relax your forehead, your scalp. Head is heavy. Feeling the front of the throat loose, subtle and relaxed. And you remove the tongue from the roof of the mouth. Shoulders heavy into the floor. Whole back body. Releasing, softening. Your arms. Relaxed. Your fingers gently curled towards the palms. If your mind is busy, it's okay. Forgive yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. Just practice watching your thoughts go by, rather than partake in the noise. Your legs are heavy, your glutes, your thighs. Your knees. Moving down your legs, a softness. And bringing that softness to your breath. Really activating your parasympathetic nervous system here. It's a practice. Softening your body, softening your mind. Come to this sweet place of stillness. Knowing that you can come back here into this space whenever you need to. Whether it's in the middle of the day, in the middle of a conversation, sometimes we just need to become aware of where we are, in our mind, and how our body is reacting to our thoughts. I hope you stay here for a few minutes longer, or for as long as you wish, as long as you need. Enjoy all the things that this rest is really offering you, and offering your physical body, your mental, emotional body as well. Thank you for joining me, and I wish you a wonderful rest of your